Hey everyone, this is Lisa from Life in Layouts, and today I have something a little bit different. I'm going to be using this PhotoPlay Real Genius collection, and I'm going to be using 4 pieces of paper. I slowed this down quite a bit to show you exactly what 4 pieces of paper I'm going to be using. These 2 papers are going to be on the right hand side of the layout, and then I'm going to be using the 4x6 and the 3x4 cut aparts for all of my embellishments. I created this class for a crop that I attended a couple of years ago. While I love the original design, I do layouts for Eli in his yearly album, so I didn't really need a first day of school layout. So I changed mine up a bit, and I'm going to show you at the end how you can interchange these cards as well. These pictures are of Eli's 5th grade award ceremony. So on the right hand side of the layout, I have a brown piece of cardstock and then these lockers. And what I decided to do was just cut off all of the lockers that were not full lockers. Now you could definitely cut it down. It's probably about a 10" by 10", but I liked that design of just having full lockers. I went ahead and made the stripe paper 11.5 by 11.5. Now you could definitely make the stripe paper 11 by 11, and that will give you more of that brown edge. It's really up to you. I decided to gut the center of the brown piece of paper because I wanted to mount my photos on the brown. Now in my original class, I did not do this because most people don't like to gut the brown paper, and you could absolutely skip this step. You could just use white cardstock or, the back of ugly pattern paper, because we all have that in our stash, right? To mat your photos as well. If you are gonna gut your paper, go ahead and add the stripe paper down, and then I just use washi on the back. This just helps it to not get stuck when it goes in the page protectors. Then I'm going to add my lockers back to the top of it and then use that brown cardstock to mat my photos. I put an 1/8 of an inch mat around my photos, but you could absolutely do a 1/4 of an inch if you would like a bigger mat as well. It really is just what your preference is. I'm using the layering guides, and unfortunately these are no longer available, but I love these things, and I can't believe, I've said it in other videos as well, I just can't believe that they're no longer available because they're really awesome guides. I just kind of eyeballed the spacing, but the locker paper is about 3/4 of an inch from all 4 sides of the brown paper. Now with the white cardstock, I also went ahead and gutted this, and I probably didn't need to gut it as much as I did because the only thing I use this white cardstock for is to mat my 2x2 photos. So again, you can absolutely skip this step, use white scraps that you have, or if you're just wanting to stick to what you have, then you could absolutely just gut a smaller piece. I went ahead and cut out the 4x6 cards, and down in the lower right hand corner is the first day of school, and you're able to write in all the information. I don't end up using that card at all on this layout, so you could absolutely use that as well. But I did use this card that says, "May you be proud of the work you do, the person you are, and the difference you make," which I thought was kind of perfect for an award ceremony. All I did was go ahead and add my adhesive right down to the layout, and then I went ahead and added my photos and my cards. I am going to have kind of a big hole in the center, but I'm going to use the washi tape to secure it all in place. This award ceremony was very interesting because it did kind of happen after COVID, so the kids were absolutely back in school, but there was still lots of things going on around that, so there were quite a few people that had masks on. So you can see here that I used the washi tape to just make sure that it's all secure and in place. I did use the back of the reading goals card for the 4x6 card on the right hand side. And then this is where I'm going to mat my 2x2 photos with this white cardstock. Again, you could have put the 2x2 photos directly down on the layout. You didn't need to mat them. I was just being extra. I did originally use an 1/8 of an inch border, which is what I normally use, but it looked really large on the 2x2s. So I went ahead and went down to 1/16 of an inch. And I think that that looks better with the smaller size. Now comes the fussy cutting part of the layout. And I'm not a fussy cut girl, so I made sure that I kept it really simple. I did speed this up quite a bit more than what I normally do because honestly, I'm just cutting paper. I went ahead and cut out the 5 pencils, and I'm going to use 3 in one embellishment cluster and then 2 in another embellishment cluster. I cut out these stacks of books, and that's going to be kind of my large embellishment cluster on the right hand side. And I will tell you, this was probably the most intricate piece that you have to cut, and it's really not that difficult. I'm not a very good fussy cutter. I usually use my ink to kind of give it a distressed look so that it looks like I intended to do that. I also cut out this ruler. On the bingo card, I used a 3/4 inch punch to punch out all of the bingo pieces, and I'm going to add those to my cluster where the 2x2 cards are. And I did go ahead and cut out the squares that I couldn't cut. There was a pencil and a ruler. I couldn't cut those with my 3/4 inch circle because it went like end to end. And then I also cut out this red heart from one of the 3x4 cards. I thought about cutting out the locker as well, but decided against it. And the last one that I'm going to cut out is this arrow from one of the 3x4 cards as well. And that's it. So here is my pile of embellishments. Down in the bottom, there is a card that says B is for boy. There's also a G is for girl card in there. So if you have a girl, you can absolutely swap that out as well. I do end up using my vintage photo to distress all of the edges, but you can really use any color that you have. I'm going to go ahead and add the arrow down to the corner, and then I added 2 of the pencils. They're like colored pencils really, right above the arrow as well. The green one is flat, and then that yellow brown color I did go ahead and put up on fun foam. And then that's it for that kind of cluster there. Where the 2x2 photos are, that's where a kind of a larger cluster is going to be. I used that ruler, went ahead and put that down, and then I lost my heart. It fell over there on that 4x6 card, but luckily I found it pretty easily. I did go ahead and put that heart up on fun foam as well. Then I'm going to go ahead and put one of the photos down flat and one of the photos up on fun foam, just to give it a little bit more dimension in that section there. And then I'm going to take 3 of the circles from that bingo card. I used the apple, the bag of lunch, and the paperclip, but you could absolutely use the music note or the basketball if like your kids are into sports or music as well. Or you could add those 2 pencils and ruler in that section as well. I did go ahead and put all 3 of those up on fun foam. Then I'm going to bring in the right hand side of the layout, and I do go ahead and put that photo of Eli and his teacher up on fun foam. When I put the photo down, I really wanted the top layer of the lockers to show, so that's what I used as my guide. And then when I put the photo of Eli with his award, I used the bottom row of the lockers as my guide on that one, so they offset just a little bit. And then in that space between the 2 photos, I put in the stack of books with the apple. I do go ahead and put the fun foam directly on the layout and then add the piece to it because I knew I had to tuck in some of the fun foam underneath the photo of Eli and his teacher. And of course, once I get it down, I realize I don't have enough fun foam, so I just use the technique of tucking it in and adding the fun foam, and then tucking it in and adding the fun foam. Because, you know, why do it the easy way? In my class, I did use the 3x4 card that had the date on it, so you could absolutely do that. But since I wasn't going to have a specific date, I just wanted to have the year, I went ahead and cut out another piece, and it just looks like notebook paper. And I go ahead and add that below my photo as well. Now, the colored pencils in my original class, I had them right next to the book, but they would have covered up Eli's little certificate that he had, so I just moved it over to the right. And I think it looks fine in either section. So these are the cards that I did not end up using, and I slowed this down just a little bit. You could absolutely substitute the boy for the girl, and then also that card that has the first day of school and then all the details in it. And then you could also put in the report card for your future is bright if you wanted to do this like as a last day of school type thing as well. Now for the title, I did pull out some thickers that I have in my collection, and my title is going to be super simple. It's just going to be 5th grade award ceremony. And I have these tile stickers. I like to put them up on fun foam, and the award ceremony is going to be in these tile stickers. I actually first just had 5th grade ceremony, but then when I looked back at the pictures, I realized it was award ceremony. So off camera, I do add the word awards right next to ceremony. I feel like the G is always the hardest letter to get down. Tell me in the comments below, like, what do you guys struggle with when you are putting foam thickers down? Is there a certain letter that just never sits right or never looks right? Because the G is definitely one for me. I do go ahead and use tile stickers for the TH in 5th, and I just put that flat to the layout. Then I decided that I wanted to go ahead and stamp the date, and I just put the year 2022. So I just used the vintage photo again and added that to the little notebook piece of paper on the right hand side. And that is it. Here is my final layout as well as some close-ups. I can't believe I put this layout together with just 4 sheets of paper. Have you ever challenged yourself to do something like that? If you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layout inspiration, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have a scrappy day.